Well, that's some bad news. So, Girly died. So Girly was the white dog. Now, for those that remember the cat, that's where Skiddy was buried. So we buried Girly here, right next to her. So I kind of did it wrong. Skiddy is this way with her head up here. But I wanted to use one headstone for both animals. So Girly's head is right here. I don't know if it makes a difference. Now I have a board on it, that way none of the animals dig her up until the dirt has time to settle. We got that, I forget what it's called, Damascus earth or something, just to make sure that the animals will stay away from it. But, you know, I've tried to keep them out of there. So far, so good. So last night she died, and I knew she was in distress, but from the moment she went into distress to she died was only maybe a half hour. So it wasn't like we could respond too quickly. I wasn't even sure what was really wrong with her. All day long she was out here having a good time. I mean, you know, in these warmer days she's been outside most of the day, every day. Whereas her sister Red, we call her sister, we don't know for sure, stays inside primarily most of the day. So I don't know, maybe 5:30-ish. Like I said, she was out here playing, running, chasing cats, having a good time. About 5:30-ish, I heard a noise, so I looked out, and she had coughed. Now, when I looked out the window, it looked like she had a snake in her mouth. And I thought, uh-oh, I better come out here. And because I wasn't sure it was a cough. I didn't know what noise she was making. Maybe she was in pain from the snake. I didn't know. So I came out here, but it was just a long line of drool. So I knew she was in distress. So I coaxed her back into the house and told, you know, to try to give her some food. She wouldn't eat. Red ate, but she wouldn't eat. And then she drank a lot of water. So I was a little worried that maybe she got into something. I don't know. But I don't think she got into anything. I mean, we looked all around. There's just nothing around here that she would have gotten into that would have made her sick. And like I said in the previous videos, she was really old. I mean, we had her on medication because her joints were so bad she couldn't hardly lift her back end up anymore. And her throat had been damaged from a choke collar in the past. So this anti-inflammation medicine was helping her be able to sit up, you know, stand up and really reduce the cough. So it made her quality of life a lot healthier. Unfortunately, there may have been a side effect, and we knew the risk. And my thinking was, well, I'd rather her not suffer and take the medicine so she can have a happy life, run around chasing cats, which she was, than sitting around coughing all day and all night, not being able to get up. But the risk was she could get an ulcer in her stomach. And it appears that may be what has happened. She got an ulcer. And, you know, the vet said that's a possibility. You know, side effects, that kind of thing. So he said he had her on a heavy dose. Anyway, so we so last night, like I said, we tried to get her to come in, and she vomited. Now it was just the water. That's all she vomited. Just a ton of water in the house. So she was panting really heavy, and it wasn't hot. Red wasn't hot. So you could tell she was in distress. So I let her back outside, maybe thinking that, you know, she needed to vomit some more. And she went over in the woods and she went to the bathroom, number 2, and it was just blood. So, you know, we're trying to figure out, do we want to try to find a vet that's open? And, you know, we're doing our research, and she laid down, and I came back out while we're trying to figure all this out, and I tried to get her attention. There was no attention. There was nothing. So I dug a hole and I buried her. which I know this is going to sound terrible. When I buried Skiddy, it was August, and the dirt was just a rock. I mean, you could not dig a hole to save your life. And I'm thinking, this is going to be terrible trying to dig a hole that big for Girly. So, but it, you know, it just rained, and it really wasn't that bad. Now, I've said all along that we were going to do the best we can, and the way I've been kind of talking to Carolyn about it is, you know, we were just in hospice care is all we were doing. Just minimizing her pain so she could endure life a little longer and enjoy happiness. I mean, when we got her, she was starving to death. Now, she wasn't starving as bad as Red. I guess maybe somebody might have been feeding her a little bit. Red was near death. I mean, she could barely walk. She was so starved. So to kind of give you a history of what was going on, Red showed up in early spring, somewhere in the springtime, May, somewhere around there. Like I said, she was starving to death. Now, it seems to me that Red showed up for a while and then was gone for a while and then came back. And when she came back, that's when she was starving to death. That's the way I remember it. And of course, I don't know what happened to her in that time frame. But anyway, so she came up almost every other day. And that was kind of the routine. She would come up every other day. She'd stay all day. She'd eat really good, stay all day, and then leave at night. First time I saw her, she was so starved that I nearly ran over her with the lawnmower. Now, she's a big dog, but I didn't see her, you know. I mean, I might let the grass get a little tall, but even at 6 inches, you wouldn't think it would be so tall that you wouldn't see a dog. So anyway, we fed her a couple cans of chicken. And so we gave her all the chicken that we had left, all that canned chicken that we had. We eventually gave it all to her. Ended up buying dog food eventually. Carolyn started cooking rice and different things for her. But it was every other day. She'd show up, eat, stay all day, leave at night. Wasn't sure why. Well, we drove around one time trying to figure out where she was going. And we saw a white dog locked up behind a gate. And for some reason we got this instinct that that's where she was going. Well, so this happened all summer, every day or every other day all summer. Then about August, now we've seen this dog before, but only one time. Girly showed up. Now, she wasn't, like I said, wasn't quite as bad as Red when she showed up, but she was starving. I mean, it was still pretty serious. I guess Red needed Girly's permission to stay here. Don't know why. They never got along. They really didn't like each other very much. Girly was much more patient than Red, but Red is scared of Girly. So it was obvious that Girly, you know, the dog that died, the older dog, was the dominant dog. But Red is always growling at her. Just was always growling at her. And but anyway, when Girly got here, she stayed out here on the porch 2 or 3 days, and they would run off at night, just kind of playing around. But when I get up at 4:30 in the morning, I could bet they were going to come up on the street. So they already knew my schedule. So I don't know, maybe September, late August, early September, Girly goes in the house. Now at this time, Skiddy, the cat, was pretty sick. She was not doing well. She'd suffered all summer, and we kept thinking it was the heat that was causing her issues, but I don't know, there was something wrong with her. Well, then when Girly went in the house and scared her, Skiddy stopped eating altogether and stopped going to the bathroom. And it was just after a couple of days after Girly went in the house. Now, we didn't want her in the house. As a matter of fact, we tried to get her out as soon as she went in there. But after a couple of days, Skiddy died. Now, Skiddy was a stray also. She was starving to death. The first time I ever met Skiddy, I set up a trap to get a raccoon, a live trap. And I just threw a chicken bone in there, and I woke up next morning and that cat was in that life trap. So I let her go. Well, I don't know, maybe a day later we had a bucket of lard out here. And she was trying to get that lid off that lard, and I'm fighting her for that lid. It was kind of cute. So we gave her some chicken and she never left. She stayed here all summer that summer. That was a couple of years ago. A few years ago, actually. I don't know, maybe like 4 years ago. So she stayed outside all summer, and then it started getting cold, and it got down to, I think, about 32 degrees one morning, and she's out here sitting in a chair, laying in a chair all huddled up. So I picked her up and brought her inside. Now it's like 60 degrees inside because, you know, we had to start the stove. And every time we brought her in, she wanted to come back out. Well, she ran to the door, went out, and then she realized, oh, it's warm in here. She turned around and went back under the bed. And then she came in all the time. As a matter of fact, we trained her to open the door, the screen door, so in the summertime she could just go outside anytime she wanted. I know I got off on Skiddy a little bit, but so, but anyway, so we've gotten these dogs pretty healthy as possible. But Girly has been in a lot of pain, and we tried to minimize the pain, and we've actually talked to the vet about putting her down because of the pain. And he said, well, let's try these anti-inflammatory medicines and see how that goes. So we've only had her on that for probably not even a month. And boy, she has done so much better. I mean, she is just perked right up, running around, chasing cats, barking, and not coughing near as much. I mean, she still had to cough occasionally, but before she'd go down the hill and run back up, and before she got back up the hill, she'd be hacking and coughing. And then when we decided to check in on this medication, to figure out what we wanted to do, put her down or whatever, she coughed all night long. It was almost non-stop. So, like we said, we put her on the medication, and I mean, it was almost instantaneous. She just got better. But there was a risk, and I guess, in my mind, even though I'm just devastated by this, I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I mean, she was going to die one way or another, either from the coughing or from the ulcer in the stomach or just from us putting her down. She was going to die. So we gave her a few more great weeks, is the way I'm trying to look at this. I mean, she was youthful again. She was really happy. Not moping around, not unable to get up. She was coming out here, spending most of the day outside playing, laying around in the sun. And, I feel like, okay, so here we had a starving dog that was near death, and we didn't improve her life much. We fed her. But as far as quality, we didn't do much until right there towards the end. And her quality of life got a lot better. I mean, just 1,000 times better. But there was a price to pay for that, I guess. And I'm hoping that she appreciated the price that she paid for it. I'm sure she did. She was really happy. And even Red was staying outside more to play with her. So, I mean, and now we're kind of, watching Red, make sure she's okay. And I think she is. When she's inside, she acts like she's totally fine. Now remember, Red spent most of the time inside, and Girly spent most of her time outside the last couple months. So I don't think that Red has really recognized that she's missing when she's inside. But when she comes out, there is an obvious, let's go around sniffing and see if we can find her mentality. So we're coming out with her. Used to, we let them out. They can stay outside by themselves. But for a few days, we're going to make sure that she stays in the yard. And then when we come in, that she goes in. That way she doesn't run back down to that, wherever they were hanging out at, maybe at that gate. What it was is, there was an old man who owned them down the hill. And he got cancer, and he asked one of the neighbors to take care of him when he died. And he was, but he needed to buy food. So he sold some of the farm equipment from the old man to buy the food. Well, apparently another neighbor got upset about that. I don't know the relationship between these people. Don't understand it. None of my business. So the guy who was responsible for taking care of the dog said, fine, I'm not taking care of him anymore. Well, then another guy picked up the responsibility, but he spends half his life in Washington State and half his life down here, so he wasn't able to feed him either. So my guess is when Red came up, the guy was in Washington. Well, then the guy came home and was feeding him again, or came back down here, feeding him again, and that's why we didn't see her for a while. But then when she came back up, she was near death, so I guess he went back to Washington. So, but Red's, you know, she seems to be fine. You know, we're gonna keep an eye on her, but you know, just a sad day. It's just kind of sad because I don't know if I've really ever gotten over Skiddy just yet. So, but I did know that Girly was gonna die. I mean, I wasn't sure how old Skiddy was. I was pretty sure she was a lot older than we thought she was when we first got her, but I didn't realize she was that old. But Girly, we knew she was old. We knew that she really didn't have a lot of time left. I didn't know if that meant another year or another 6 months. And it looks like, you know what, we got, what, 6, 7, 8 months out of it? So, well, I thought I'd let you know. So, anyway, if you'll click this up next box to take the video over my other channel, I'd really appreciate it. Go check it out. So, I hope I can inspire you to make somebody happy, even if it's just a dog. So you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.